Well, hi guys, how you doing? My name's Paul, this is Plan Z. Welcome to the session. I'm a little bit excited today. Ooh, we've finished setting all the amps up in the 20 banks. We've got 50 banks in the Boss GT1000 and 20 of them I've dedicated to the guitar amps. I've done the same for my acoustic and for my bass, but we're going to be starting out today looking at what we can do using acoustic synths. Now, I finished dialing in my cabinet, so I did a little video on that last video. Just going to go to about 8 on the pickup, neck pickup. This is my medium gain boutique amp. Let's put on some verbs. Let's now go to a Supreme amp, also on a medium gain. Let's go to the back pickup, bring up the gain pot. Now what we've got here is a bank of Supreme amps. Now I'm not going to be diving into this amp in this video, I'll do that in a different video, but we are going to use this to build up a loop, and then I want to drop an acoustic in into that mix. Now there's something else I want to put into the mix, and we'll dive into this first. Now I've got myself set up here. When that button is green, we've got a low and a medium gain Supreme amp. When I engage my wets, I've got overtones. I can just have the overtones. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the settings for this, but before we do, I'm going to take a quick loop of that because we're going to want to use it for our overall jam. So I'm just going to start a beat and I'm just going to play get the loop recorded, and then we'll move on. Take a loop on this round. Okay, now we've got the loop. Let's go in and have a quick look. We come in, we hit a divide. Now here what's going on is I can be in my guitar side. So this side goes out to my main outs, where I have 2 notes cab amp, 2 of them, 1 on each output, so I'm running in stereo. But as I say, this settings video is about the wet channel and acoustics. So what we're going to do is, the first thing we do is we hit a distortion block with a centaur on it. I've got the drive at 80, the tone at -6 is that. Minus something, my eyes are going, I can't see the screen quite as well as you can. Sorry about that. I've got the level at about 40. We've pulled a bit of the bottom out at -10, and I've got none of the direct mix coming through. I then put a noise gate after that, or noise suppression, can't get my words out, sausages. Threshold at 50, release at 10. I've then got the overtone effect, so I've got the low level at 30, the upper level at 60, none of the unison coming in, because if I want, or the dry is not in because I've got a dry channel here. I can add that in just using that, but unison didn't need it in this or want it because I didn't see the point. But sorry, the next page I've got the detune at 25, the low at -10, and the highs at 0. We're running in stereo. I then EQ it. So all I'm doing here, give it a little boost in the overall level, because I take out a chunk of 630 on a cut of about 3. What I might do is just cut that to 4. Yeah, that's better, just slightly less there. So I wish I'd done that before the loop, but we'll stay as we are. I then boost 10k on a wide Q, only by a couple of dB there, and I'm doing my high cut at 12.5 and my low cut at 160. So I'm using a different frequency range to I normally use on the guitar. Okay, I then stick a chorus on it. I'm just using a stereo chorus. Here's the settings: the level at 90. Running it on tri, got the low cut up at the same, about 100, and then the high cut at the same, 12.5, all the direct level coming through because I want all that overtone for it to chorus with. Then I've got a delay. Now I'm running this as just like a stomp box. So there you're running the dual. I've got a tape to the left, a tape to the right, but the one on the right, the feedback, well, which one? Oh no, it's not this one. Oh, shut up, it's the other one. We'll talk about the feedback. It's just very simple settings here, okay? So you can just hear it going one stop each side of us. The reverb is running in like a side chain, so it's always on, but it's engaged by me engaging the divide here, where it runs in stereo, and I'm just running the end here in stereo as well at the mixer. But the reverb is the Hall 2, and it's just quite simple, but I've put a tremolo after it, where I've got 50% of the original mix coming through from the reverb, the rise time at 100, but the effects level at 100 also. Waveform at 100, depth at 100, and the rate at 75. Now let's move to the most important part of the kind of patch for me for these next two patches, which is in this one I'm running the cab sim on 412s, medium distance. I'm running a flat mic because I want like a studio sound reverb kind of coming through cabinets, if that makes sense, without the mics in. So I'm running that flat, medium distance with it in the middle on 100, and then a stereo compressor. Okay, now this stereo compressor I'm using like a 2:3 ratio. None of the direct mix is coming through. Tone up by 10. The level at 47 is that. I've got the attack up quite high at 90, and the sustain at 50. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save that patch, because I just took 1 dB out of that 630, didn't I? Now we're going to go into the patch that's next to it, which is the acoustic patch. Now we've got options here. Let's just hear it. First of all, we're gonna hear it on the Les Paul, then we'll go to the Tele, then the P90s. So just bring my gain pot up a bit. I gave it a good old thwacking there for you. So on the neck pickup, that's quite nice. You can even tap over the bridge and get like a bit of body coming through. So that's quite cool. Let's go to the Tele. Now what I'm doing is I'm using a Gig Rig 321 to get the 3 guitars into the one input, and I regulate the input levels on the 321. Each input's got its own preamp. So this is the Tele. It's brighter. Let's see if it does the body bashing. Yeah, we get a bit of body there if we hit over the pickup. That's quite cool. So now let's get the P90s. Now for me, the P90s, just naturally anyway, they've got a kind of woodier tone. You hear more of the wood in the tone, I feel, which kind of makes them perfect for the acoustic sim. I think that the Tele is the weakest link there, but still sounds quite good. Let's get started with that. So I'm going to go back to the Les Paul and then we'll go into the patch. Excuse me. Now then, what's happening here is we come in and we're set up that I can go to the synth. Now I've not set the synth up properly yet. I want to put some funkiness onto it. But in here, there's the synth, and I can have, if I want, both, but I need to sort this out. It still needs work. I've got the synth, but I still haven't worked on it. Now the synth obviously is going out through the main outs into 2 notes. Now this channel, this is the most important thing about the acoustic sim that I could teach you today. If I could get you to take anything away from this video, it's this nugget here. In the real world, when you use an acoustic sim and put it through an amplifier, it sounds crap. And it's the same in the digital world, okay? So I've found, and I'm going to experiment further with this, but I found turning the cab sim off and going directly to the desk is the best result. So I just set in this patch, I turn off the cab sims, okay? Really important nugget there, and just go at line level. Then I've got a stereo compressor at the end of the chain, but we'll come to this at the end. Let's go to the beginning. Now at the beginning, I've got the acoustic sim where I've got the body at 50 and I've taken a bit of low out. We've left the highs alone, and I've got the level cranked at 100. There's no page 2. In effects 2, I've got acoustic resonance, and that's where we're getting the ability to hit our body, and we're getting that extra body of the guitar coming through, okay? So there I'm using natural. Now I've got also a bank of acoustics set up somewhere else in my GT1000, but this is just the one I've put up here in the amp, so I've got an acoustic to play around with when we're jamming. So here I've got it on the natural type. I've taken a bit of the resonance out. I've got the tone at plus 20 and the level at 50, okay? There's no page 2 in this one. Now in these 1, 2 and 3 EQs, I deal with the EQ obviously. So let's turn them off for a minute and hear it without EQ. Let's take out those lows. What I've done is I've boosted the level here just a little bit, but taken out 160 Hertz on a Q of 4 to the tune of -6, and I've taken out 315 Hertz on a Q of 2 to the tune of -6, and I've taken a low cut here to 200, okay? But it brings out the highs, so let's just tame those slightly and pull out some of those muds around the 500, which I've done here using a tighter Q of 4, taking out 6 dB on the 500 Hertz, and with 4K I'm pulling out 3 on a Q of 2. Let's put that on. Let's turn it off. Okay, so it's very subtle, but it has an impact. And now what I do with the middle EQ is I'm just boosting 125 Hertz on a wide Q on a to the tune of 3. I take out 1 dB on the master because I'm boosting. Take it off. So it just helps it cut through a bit. So what I've done to help with the stereo thing is, you know, I use divides to create using stereo patches, but here I wanted to do the same thing. So I've used an EQ, and here what happens is when I hit this button, it takes us from dual, from a single into dual, and changes the mixer at the same time to left right. I've got the spread on 10. The second EQ has got a little bit of low taken out, so 1 low. I've boosting the level by 4, and the other one was boosted by 3. Here I'm taking out 6 dB of 630, in the other we took out 500. In here I'm taking out 4 dB of 3.5, in the other we took out 4K. And here I'm doing my high cut at 10. Remember, there's no low cut because that happens in this first one down here, okay? So that's what they sound like when they're together. And we can, when we hit this button, it changes this from A to B, but at the same time, each time I press it, it keeps this on left right. Okay, now normally that wants to go from stereo to left right, but you have to assign it as left right, and then to get back into up the middle, you just double click on this one. I showed you in a previous video how to do that. We've got a chorus here. Got the level at 90, the direct mix coming through at 100, the high cut at 12.5, low cut at 315, using tri. We're on stereo, we've got the rate at 40, depth 50, pre-delay at 4, and the level there at 80. Yeah, I'll do it at 80. Now here, I'm running a sidechain reverb, so if I hit my divide, the reverb is off. That actually could be quite nice with, hang on. I wonder if there isn't, for another tune, I'm going to be doing some rhythm tracks with that. Anyway, so let's take that off. Here we've got a delay. When I engage it, I'm just using it like a stomp box. We've got dual delay, tape left, tape right, one at 250 milliseconds, one at 500 milliseconds. And in here, I mentioned earlier about the feedback, but this is the one with the feedback. So when we've got it on, we get... Okay. When we... Actually, what I want to do is just change that. So I'm going to go into the assigns now. Let's just go in, and we're going to look for the delay. Master delay feedback, and I'm going to pull that back from 70, I think, to 30. Let's go. Yeah, that's better. So I'm just going to save that change. Let me just check. Yeah, I'm just going to save that change. I'm going to go back in. Right, so what's happening there is I've got the level of each. Well, we've got one at 60, one at 40. Now what happens is when I extend the expression switch, this side's going to start feeding back in on itself. I'm going to add the reverb. Add the chorus. Now I can disengage from the delay, and it will still keep giving me the feedback because the trails are on. Now when we go into the compressor, let's just pull those back, let them trail off. Now the compressor here is a stereo compressor. Did I cover this a second ago? I think I might have done. 1.6 to the ratio, using it like mastering compressor, but I have got some of the natural mix coming through. The original mix. The tone, I'm leaving that in this patch. It doesn't need it. It starts giving you problems with the highs. The level at 50, the attack quite strong at 90, and the sustain at 40. We're using a stereo comp. Let's turn that off. Now then, we've got choices here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick an acoustic up the middle. We could stick two stereo parts up. So let's stick in a part up the middle. I'm going to come in with everything. So there's a beat and bass to come in. Take a loop of that. Okay, now I've got that in, I want to spice up my tune a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my back pickup. I'm going to I go to the Supreme amp, I'm using the Beast cabinet. Just going to put in the guitar part. That in, I'm going to go into another Supreme and stick in a medium. Okay, now I've got that in, I'm going to go to my boutique amp. I'm going to go to a low gain. Nice having the acoustic in there to play around with. I didn't have to change guitar, and I can put any of my guitars through that should I want to. Let's just get rid of that bass. Let's get rid of one of those beats. That sounds lovely. I wonder if I'm able to solo over that using one of the acoustics. No, I would want that louder. I wonder how much louder that would need to go. Okay, so what I'm looking to do is use my compressor as my boost. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have it go from, what was that, 50? Yeah, I was on 50 there. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull that back. Let's go into the assign now. So I want that level to boost. So to create a boost, I'm going to go into the assigns and look for a spare assign. I've got loads here. Now let's go, what do we want? Let's just use this. Let's go compressor. I'm going to push in, hold down, go all the way to the beginning. There's compressor. Where is it? Where is it? There. And I want to now, rather than on and off it, I want to go level. So let's get the level. And oh, actually, maybe it's not level we want. Let's see what happens. You know what? I think it's going to be sustain. Let's go to sustain. Let's just turn that off. Let's just go back to here. So here we go. I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I just want to So we want it at 40 when it starts. So let's go back into the assigns, turn that on, bring this to 40. And I'm going to take it to 60 to start with. And I'm going to put it on this one here. So number 2, and I want it to toggle on and off. So we should find now that this goes from 40 when I press this button to 60 and back again. That's just a starting point. I'll fine tune it. Now what we need to do is let ourselves know what we've done. So let's go into the assigns again, go to LED color, going to come down here, and this is my boost. So I'm going to make it orange and then red when it's on. That might even be too much. Let's go back into here. Just pull this back a bit. I think I'm going to go 57. So back into the assigns. Pull that back to 57. Hit the button, make the change. 57. Oh, I think it maybe just a touch more there. It just felt like a little harsh. I'm going to go 55. And I'm going to leave it at that. Save the patch. Come out. Let's engage it. Oh no, I've forgotten something. Right, there you go. We're going to go back into the patch. What I didn't do is let's come into control assigns. Then we go to control function. Now this is whatever you do on this page will override the other page. Now here I've got this set that it goes to the patch when I hit that button. I just need to turn that to off and then save it. Okay. Let's go from very cool. Delay will just carry on there if I leave it up there. Let's just pull it back a touch. Okay, so hopefully you've had a little idea there of how you can very powerfully use a stereo looper and kind of sound check yourself and work out if your levels are working well. There I took my acoustic patch, showed you what I've done, and built in a boost there using the compression sorry, using the compression rather than an actual boost to give me the kind of result I was looking for. Hopefully that was useful. Yeah, looking forward to this amp deep dive. They're starting to feel really nice. I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.